Hello friends, and welcome to a new TPT store audit. I have had many requests to do another one of these, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize that the last one was all the way back in August, so it's been almost a year now, so I do apologize for that. Just other things kept popping up and seeming more important, so this just kept getting pushed off. So if you're new around here, usually every few months, I do a TPT store audit where I pick somebody from the comments of the previous store audit, and I just look through their store and look at a couple of different things. So if you would like to be featured in the next one, all you need to do is leave a comment down below with a little bit of information like how long you've had your store, what kind of things you sell. And I used to ask for a link, but YouTube sometimes like blocks ones with links as spam. So maybe just put your store name and I'll look it up from there. If you also, I will mention, if you're looking for like really more immediate feedback, I do have some coaching times available now that it is summer. And so those are either 25 or 55-minute sessions where you can ask me all the questions you want. And then also I go through a very similar process to this where I'll look through your store and see, what kind of things I would suggest that you can change. I'm also looking to do like maybe a recorded version of that where like I do it on my own time and then send you like a PDF and a recording of basically this kind of similar thing. So if you're interested in that, having like a TPT store audit, then sign up for my email list down below. I'll link it in the description, and I will let you know when that's available. I haven't figured out like the back end of like how to make that happen yet, so that's what I'm hesitating on. But maybe if there's interest, I'll get more on that. Anyway, let's get on with it. So for this TPT store audit, I picked Ms. Riz Elementary Resources, and I thought this one was really interesting because I do help a lot of like newer sellers, and sometimes that is really fun because like you're new, but a lot of times the biggest thing I can tell newer sellers is you need more products. And so like that's a lot of times what it comes down to is like you just need more products, and that's not a very fun video. So Miss Riz has been on TPT for years and years and years, which I thought was really interesting. So we have some really fun things in here to talk about. Full disclosure, I always look at these beforehand so that I can creep through and make sure I have something to talk about before I turn the recorder on. So this is Ms. Riz Elementary Resources, and right off the bat, I have to say my favorite thing that I like so far, two things. Number one is you have plenty of products, which is excellent. 500 is a ton, and that is really going to help just search-wise, and getting people to purchase more things at one time is very helpful when you have more products like that. You definitely don't need 500, but that is excellent. And then I really like this. So this is like a custom banner. And what I like about it is that it gives people specific things to do. It says, browse the categories here and click on the green star, which is up here, to follow me. And that right off the bat really is going to help you to capture more people, to help get people to follow you. And also, again, with those custom categories, a lot of people actually don't know about the custom categories. So I always make it a point to mention that, especially like around sale times, I'll like go on Instagram and like show people how to use the custom categories, because it just makes life so much easier. So I love that you're pointing that out right off of the bat. Now, that being said, I'm looking through and it's just sorted as, this is like how I came to the page. It's sorted as best sellers. And so first of all, very interesting that your best sellers are not really teaching things. They're like helping people get teaching jobs, which I think is really fascinating, and not something I would have thought to make, but clearly it's doing well for you if it's your best out of 580 products. And so there's a lot of products like this in here. So like teaching job letter of introduction, editable teacher cover letter, and then also things like contact information, letter of recommendations, just very interesting, like a lot of that kind of stuff in your store, which I like that that's kind of your niche. That's kind of what you're going for. Right off the bat, I will say TPT used to favor these long and skinny thumbnails. I would switch those to squares because that is better now that you can have a square. It's going to take up more space and show things off a little bit better, and then give you a little bit of a different format. You don't need to have your logo on there. I would, if you're going to keep the logo, I would make it a little bit smaller if you're going to redo those. Because you don't need them, but you could make it maybe smaller and at the bottom, and then you could, you know, show maybe this in a better light. You could make it bigger. You could, you know, print it out and do product photography, which is always going to look better so that it's easier to see, and you see more of that and less of, you know, the logo right off of the bat. I do, however, like how all of your thumbnails are very consistent, which is very, very nice, and it's really going to help. One little point right here, I see that little caterpillar is copyrighted. So copyright is like a whole big thing that honestly I don't want to get into, because again, it's a whole big thing and it's very tricky and complicated, but the illustrator's work, so the images from the books, are off limits. So I would take that caterpillar off so that that does not get into any issues. I don't know what the inside looks like, so I don't know what you can do. And I saw another one, this one. I'm not sure, but if you do not have permission to use those photos, then you need to take those off as well. Photos, you have to like purchase photos to be used in marketing like this, and so using those people's faces without them knowing, and I don't know, you might have paid for it, and if so, that's great, but if not, and you just got them off of Google, make sure you change that, because that's not copyright friendly. Also, that's really adorable. So that being said, let's look at a couple of things. I already have a few things pulled up. So the first thing is the free download, which is this alphabet match. And so I pulled that up here. The cover matches what the thumbnail looks like, which now that I'm thinking about it, it probably is thumbnail. So that's kind of clever. I love how you have this suggested use section in your product. I've started adding that to a lot of my products, especially things that are a little weirder to use. And that helps a lot with people just being able to, you know what to do in that area. And also I love that you have your email here, because if someone has a problem, it is always better for that person to email you or message you on Instagram or something than for them to leave a question or, heaven forbid, a review where they're, you know, touting all of their issues that usually have nothing to do with your product. So I love having the email in there so that people can get in contact with you if they would like to. After that, here's what the actual product looks like. So it's a cut and paste activity. Kudos to you. Cut and paste terrifies me because too much glue, too much potential stabbing. It's okay. Not everyone feels that way. I also don't have tables, so there's that. I teach music. But I do like how you go through each of the different letters of the alphabet, and that it is very like consistent, so each page is very similar. That's going to help. And this is a really good freebie. It is really hard to decide, you know, what's going to be a good freebie and what's not going to be a good freebie, because you don't want to give away too much, but you want to give away enough. And so I like this because it's going to take up at least one class, maybe a couple of classes if you're going to go through all of the different letters, but it's enough that people feel like, oh, hey, that was useful and that was helpful, but it's also not so much that it's overwhelming and people are never going to use it. So this is a really good like sized freebie and a really good amount, I would say. All right, a couple of other things. I went through and looked at a couple of the categories. So I just clicked on I have, who has, because that's something that I also use, so I understand it really well. And you have quite a few. The first thing I would say is that there are no pictures on the, well, possibly Saturn, but other than that, there's no pictures on the thumbnails of what the product looks like. So if I am just going to Teachers Pay Teachers and searching for it, I'm probably more likely to click on one that has a picture so I can see what it looks like. And I do see that you have switched to the square covers, so I'm assuming this is a more recent product than the other ones. In this one, I love how you have the instructions, because some people do not know how to play the game, and so that's just really helpful. And then also great for whole group, great for morning meetings. So that's giving suggestions. I would put a paragraph before this that's very keyword rich and just talks about what the game is and why it's great. And the reason I would do that paragraph is because that's what pops up here. You see how there's like 3 lines right here? That is what pops up. And so you want to make sure that that paragraph is really helping people to see what the point is, why they're using it, and make them want to click on it. And then also, I always say do a keyword rich version of that to ensure that people are really getting, to ensure that TPT is picking up all of those keywords. So I would make sure that I would put able and able words in there. I would say this is a game for, first grade. I don't know who does this. First grade, second grade? It says 2 through 5. So second grade activity, all of those things. I would put something over top of this so that people can't just steal this screenshot. Let's see. What does the preview look like? Yeah, so this one says preview on it so that people cannot, again, steal it. And then I do like that you can see so much of it so that people really understand it, because that's going to help a lot. So in these, I would definitely add in that description just a little like paragraph explaining the things, but I do like how you have the directions for the game. And then some of them, as you can see, have the standards, which I've heard quite a few people say that they only purchase things when they have the standards. So I would highly recommend that. They don't currently have the music standards, so I don't have those in there. But if your standards are available, I would make sure to do that. Again, I would add that little paragraph of a description above there. Here we're talking about free TPT credits, so leave a review. That's great. Not a lot of people leave reviews. So anything to encourage people to is great. I looked at a couple of different sections, like I mentioned, and one of the ones I just clicked on a few, was the religious section, because that's, something that really relates to me. And I love all of these little crafts that you have. They're so much fun. So there's like the Joseph craft, and then there's the 5-finger craft, word searches, Easter crosses, all of that. And in particular, I love that you have actual pictures of the craft on here. Now, I would, again, make the picture bigger and make your thumbnail smaller and maybe put it down in the corner so that people can see it even better than that. Just, bear in mind how big or how small the thumbnails really are in real life. But especially with a craft, you want to make sure that people can see the craft and know what it is. But I do like how here you say easy to use directions, because that is what everybody's looking for. And here you can see there's the thumbnails, and here you can see there's the screenshots of the product. That also works, but it's not as nice. I do sometimes do that when I'm running out of time. But here's another craft. You can see the actual craft, and that makes a huge difference in that. So that's something I would do in there. I'm also noticing there are a lot of like $1 resources and $2 resources. Sometimes that's kind of unavoidable. That doesn't need to be more than $1, but if you can, I would try to get most of your products to $3, because TPT takes out that extra fee if the purchase is less than $3. And so if your products are mostly $3 and above, then you end up keeping a lot more money. So I do not mean go and take, 1-page products and make them $3. But what I do mean is if there was something you could add to this, like maybe you could have a second page with a coloring page, or like question and answer sheet, or like lesson directions, or maybe you have like 3 similar activities so you can use it with the older kids and the younger kids. Those things might help you to kind of beef up your product so that you can charge a little bit more, and that's going to help you avoid those fees and also make more money, because we all want to make more money, right? That's kind of the point. So that's something that I might look at there. One thing I really, really liked is on the first page of products, so pretty high on the bestseller list, was this Just Right Book Bags Take Home Letter. First of all, really great reviews. But what I liked about this is not only that you can see what it is. Again, I would put preview over top of those because I have had my thumbnails pop up on Pinterest before or on random people's websites before. So I try to always put that like big preview on it now. But this is what I really like, is the video preview. Specifically, if you have a product that is more difficult to understand, video previews can be so helpful. So I don't do video previews on every product. I would love to do that, but you know, what we would love to do and what we can actually do are not always the same thing. But video previews are super, super helpful on anything that needs extra explaining. So some of my video previews, you know, sometimes it's just kind of like, hey, look, this is what's inside. But some of them are really helpful because they explain it. So when you watch this video, it's only 1 minute and 26 seconds. Like, you could totally film that on your phone. It's not long, and she's just explaining what the purpose of this product is, why it is helpful, how to use it, and how it changed her classroom. And that is the best thing, and I am 1000% sure that that is how you got so many people to purchase this, is because of this video that explains it. Because if I was just seeing Just Right Book Bags Take Home Letter, I'd be like, I have no idea what the heck that means. And yes, there is some information in here with the information, and then also I do like this, like what's included. The video is really where it's at, and the video is really where you can see what the product is, why we need it, why it's amazing, and why people should buy it. And that is, I'm sure, why this is doing so well. So if you have a more difficult to explain product, so again, like the word searches, you honestly, like, you don't really need a video for word searches because they're word searches. You can, and I would always encourage you to do that if you can, but it's not like a deal breaker. Versus things like this that are maybe a little bit more complicated, maybe a little more confusing. People don't right off the bat know exactly what it is. Video previews can help so much, and if you can talk through it, that's going to help. You don't have to talk and show your face in video previews. I've actually read some studies that say that most of the time on the internet, people prefer ones that don't have talking or sound and just are like the product. But with more complicated things like this, definitely see if you can do, you know, again, it's like 1 minute. It's literally just you explaining it. You can film it on your phone, airdrop it to your Mac, and then upload it, and there you have it. And that's going to make a huge, huge, huge difference in people purchasing and wanting to purchase, because that makes such a huge difference. All right, we're about to hit 20 minutes now, so I'm going to leave it there. Couple of like recap things. I would say I love all the custom categories. I love how many products you have, and this I love because it's such a good reminder. I would look at fixing these older thumbnails and making them square, making the pictures bigger and the logo smaller, or taking it off all the way. Making sure that each of your products has that like description first in that first little category, in the first like paragraph. The freebie looks great. And then video previews are excellent. Watch out for the things in the thumbnails that could get you in trouble, and make sure you have that little bit in the description that explains what the product is. And then again, bigger pictures, and see if you can beef some stuff up to make them over $3 if that is possible. I hope this was helpful, and if you want your store to be the next one to be reviewed, then let me know some information about your store down below, and you can also sign up for a coaching call in the link in the description. And if you wanted to do like more of an audit like this, where I send you a recording and a PDF with information, then join my email list and you will be the first to know when that is available. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.